one? You're obviously confused and aroused.
And where are we now?
Do you have idiots on your planet?
It's me, Zoidberg, remember from high school?
Hello, you are listening to Slurmcast, a podcast for no reason. Today we'll be discussing Season 4, Episode 10, The Why of Fry. My name is Michelle Burlingame. With me are Tommy Roulette.
How's it going?
Pete Woodward.
That's me.
And our guest today is comedian America's Tim Cornett, USA.
That's my Korean branding. It's officially Tim Cornett, USA, good time, party, party.
There was some off-mic talk both before you got here and after about your moniker, and I was thinking about it earlier today. Have you been approached by non-American Tim Cornetts? Like, is there a Belgium's Tim Cornett?
Okay. Now, there's a weird... I have a cousin who is also named Tim Cornett.
Okay.
He is the exact same age as me. It just... There was a weird rift in my family around the time I was born, and nobody... Because they're hillbillies, so nobody's they're fussing
yes, I know that.
They're fussing and feuding and wouldn't talk to anybody. So, there were two Timothy Cornetts born.
Are you named after somebody in your family?
No.
Accident.
Yeah. Just
Spite.
Yeah, I was the fourth children. They're like,
Two
I like
Timothys.
I like Tim. So, yeah. So, that he has lived a very mountain lifestyle. He's gotten, hardcore into mountain living. He's into meth. He sucked a little dick.
Just whatever it takes.
Real mountain living.
Optional footwear.
Yeah.
His name's not Tim, it's Tim.
Yeah. See, okay. When my mom married my dad, because they're hillbillies, so they pronounce my last name Cornett. But my mom was an uppity mountain woman, so she's like, no, your name is Cornett, which is a terrible thing to do.
With a silent E on the end.
Yeah, it's Cornett. That is how it's spelled. That is how we'll do it. And that is how we did it. So now there's Tim Cornett. Tim
Cornett.
Tim Cornett and Tim Cornett. I am the fancy version.
That says a lot.
Yeah, I am for the upper crust.
I've had people reach out. A couple different other Peter Woodwards have reached out on Twitter. There's a guy in Britain who's very similar Twitter handle, but he's just oh, hey, wouldn't it be funny? I look at he's I'm into the Lord, which is weird when it's coming out of the UK in the first place. But then there's actually a stunt man.
That'll be good for you when you die. Oh, Peter Woodward, you're right here. Walk on in.
There's a guy who's actually been in a lot of sci-fi and fantasy. He's a stunt man, a sword play actor, and an instructor, I guess. And at one point, some dude starts following me on Twitter, and he's like, "Oh, you followed me back. It's such an honor to be connected to this a master swordsman." Da, da, da. I'm like, "Oh, you're thinking of the semi-famous stunt man. I'm the failed musician in Cleveland. Sorry, no response, unfollowed. It was very sad."
There is another Michelle Burlingame in Akron who I am friends with on Facebook. We're not related, probably. She's married to someone I'm probably not related to.
Okay.
I have gone by Tommy Roulette for a very long time. So when social media came out, I took all of that.
Yeah.
There was another guy that wants to go by the name Tommy Roulette that's in some band on some, I think Victory
of course
or something. And he sent me letters to all my social media accounts and was like, I just want to let you know I'm going to get a lawyer involved. We're going to sue you for this because I've gone by this name for so long and I'm blah, blah, blah. And I didn't even respond, but really, they have to buy those domains from me. I own them.
I mean, if you're going to be Tommy Roulette off, red or black, make your choice. Winner gets the name.
We'll meet you down at the Jack.
Yeah.
So I think I'm going to guess that we've probably seen clips of this Jumbotron cartoon before, but it was basically a wolf on drugs.
Yeah, Much Ado About Mutton.
That one again.
They're getting lazy. They're getting lazy with it.
Maybe it went they stopped using public domain and just bought the rights to one cartoon and they chopped it all up.
Yeah, though also we're seeing that, and they but these are bouncing all over the place when you're actually watching them on television.
Yeah.
So it's not like we've noticed them in a row. So maybe it's like they chopped up a cartoon and used it for...
But when they produced, we've been watching them in chronological order. I know we've deviated from that a little bit.
It's production order.
Well, right. And so they produced them in that same order. That wasn't their intention to release them in the same order they produced them?
No, because it's network television, always change around. That's why Firefly got canceled, because they did not put the first episode that should have been the first episode of that.
That's why Firefly got canceled. Not because it was
Well, now
awful.
Disney's going to own it, so...
Like I don't make
Oh my
people
God,
hate
I
us
didn't
enough.
think of that.
And now we're gonna get attacked by browncoats next. Send a hate mail to Shelly's
Straight
Bones
to
at
me.
Twitter.
I won't see it for like a month. Because that's about how frequently I check Twitter. But
You know,
yeah,
noticed
go
how
ahead.
often the Slurmcast has put up anything on Twitter? Like when we release an episode, because it's automatic.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, I retweet a lot of political stuff
Oh.
I do
That's always
sometimes
good.
check it or yeah.
for brand
That
building.
Slurmcast is fake news.
I'm sure we've been called that by somebody.
Liberal propaganda.
You know, and then the usual. There's a lot of comedians that we follow that are really funny. So when they make good jokes, it's nice to, share the love. Like there's one that I just saw this because I was jumping between my Twitter accounts, so it came up as like a Slurmcast retweet. But Curtis Cook had a tweet that was like, "A lot of comics' favorite day is the other day." It's just like it's almost like approaching like that George Wallace simplicity, where you're just like, big ups to all the spoons and whatnot. And you're like, fuck yeah, you're right. Spoons
Yeah.
are good.
No, Curtis is a tall, good-looking man, but like if you like after all of his jokes, his bow tie can spin, I feel like.
It's true. He's a threatening looking guy because he is very tall and imposing and sullen looking. But then like he talks, he's just such a sweet, funny.
Threatening in the like ex-husband kind of way. Like, is that who my wife's with now? Like that is how he's threatening.
Well, and then offset by the fact that his girlfriend's about 3 feet shorter than him, so it is quite the pair. Curtis doesn't listen to this. There's no reason he would. But follow him on Twitter. Funny guy. So I was trying to figure out why was all of a sudden Fry very like serious and Armageddon-y about this. Like it was just such a weird thing.
I don't know. He's just having one of those days where he just wants to be. He feels important.
Is this like during one of those seasons where it was like super broken up, like, and they had like weird like?
I don't think it was as bad as like 2 or 3, but then again, I watched this 1 week at a time.
Wait, what do you mean broken up?
This was also broadcast season 5 episode 8 or 8. So,
really?
Yeah.
That's what I mean. Like these jump around everywhere. I went to go watch it on Hulu. Yeah, and I searched through 4, and I'm
I
like,
have to search
it's
for them every
nowhere.
time.
And then I went to 5, and it's like pretty.
Well, we already did like season 5 episode 20. That was which one was that? Teenage Mutant Leeless Hurdles or something like that.
Really?
Was like season 5 episode. We're really late on.
I can't even keep up with this stuff. Like,
See, I didn't know there was I didn't give much thought to it of production order versus.
it's
like, airing
wildly different,
Mm-hmm.
and that's fine. It's just it can be confusing.
Yeah, well, it's like you can only have so much character development in these things because they are cartoons that are meant to be watched one at a time.
Yeah, they didn't get the whole binging thing down.
Yeah,
And we've actually jumped ahead a little bit. There's a question that we ask our guests early on when we remember to. What is your relationship with the show Futurama? When did you get into it?
I got into it right away, like right when they did it, because I was such a Simpsons fanatic.
Yeah.
I guess Disney owns that now too.
What doesn't Disney own?
My soul.
Ow.
Yeah, just
Well,
about.
You did play that Frozen game for a while.
I did.
Where is the Simpsons like thing they built in Florida? Is it Universal Studios?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
technically, Disney owns Universal Studios now,
Huh.
Yeah.
because I think Fox owns like all of that.
It's just. It's just
I think Disney is now a entertainment monopoly, guys.
probably.
I'm okay with that.
I think it's very close to being that. I think I saw something on Facebook about they could probably stop the merger if they wanted to for that whole monopoly reason, but I don't know if that'll ever
But then they
happen.
take these characters and your association with these characters and then like slap them on cheese and dog food and like all these other things. And
I
it's
mean,
like,
I'm okay with that.
I'm okay with
That's
that.
how I know which yogurt to buy when I'm getting it for my
Disney
kid. Like,
owns Futurama now. It's gonna own Futurama.
which
so.
one has like the good cartoon characters on it, and not the shitty ones? Is
Which
it-
aren't they're a little bit more suey than Fox is too. So
Oh. That's true.
I mean, it's.
oh yeah.
We better get rid of all that unlicensed merchandise. Go to the T Public store right now. Clear us out, please.
Yeah, you should.
you technically can't clear them out
They
because they
make it
make
on
them on demand.
We're hiding money before Disney finds it.
Did so when it was released in '99, you were on board right away?
Yeah.
And then how long did you stay with it the entire time?
Yeah, right. Even through the like movies and like the latest ones.
All the way up.
The latest ones on Netflix, I was still jazzed about.
I see. That's I'm getting there. I watched it early on because it was kind of a sweet spot for me, and then I was in college and busy drinking and stuff, and
My initial dream was to be a cartoonist. So I've always I've been like so into like cartoons and animation. So yeah, I'm like a weird 1950s like Catskills comic and a lot. So I also like sitcoms. So like the animation and the sitcom, it's like a good mixture.
it's perfect. So it's more often than not, I'm frequently outclassed on both knowledge and actual class with our guests. I think this is one of those cases.
Okay, we'll see. Because I'm not a fanatic about it or anything.
So you're not like Bill Squire level where he can come in with no notes and just like extemporaneously talk about episodes
No.
in depth.
No.
That's a weird thing. Sometimes.
Although before I came here, do you know Bridget Callahan?
Yeah.
I just saw her and she was like, I was like, oh yeah, I'm doing the episode, the Why of Fry. She's like, I'm like, oh, it was like season 5. She's like, I know.
Oh shit.
Yeah, she's like a super Futurama.
We
nerd.
probably ought to have her on the
So
show
I
then.
did not know. Yeah. While she's in town, she knows her stuff.
Fuck that. So we need a guest next week. Okay. Thanks for the tip, Tim.
No problem.
Hot tips.
For booking inquiries.
Yeah. Email slurmcast@pod@gmail.com. Yeah, it's every once in a while those like little I know that the answer is always it's cartoon logic, Pete. I don't handle that well. But like
I think this is just general storytelling setup.
that he's
It's
like
because
so
the
like
whole
when-
episode is him not feeling feeling important, but then being not important, but then being important. So
kind of like when Bender has his I need to have a legacy weird feeling emotion
yes,
things.
that terrible episode.
Well, I mean, there's been a couple, but that same sort of thing where it's just like this is we're gonna detour into character development for an episode and then go back to the hijinks.
I feel like there's been a few episodes like that where they're like we're writers, guys. Let's do
Yeah, The
this.
Simpsons get Emmys for this shit. We should too.
Yeah.
Like we recorded these out of order, and the last couple have been released out of order. I think we're past that now. But last week we did the Jurassic Park episode, so it's like these two right in a row. It's kind of like I don't know. I need some silly because this one.
Which one is is that the
the
dog?
dog.
Seymour.
Dog.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Don't worry, I alienated just about everybody with my hot takes on that.
No, it's okay.
It's it turns out I don't like animals apparently.
Okay. Fair enough.
If these cats show up, you'll see it in action. But
Okay.
But let's be honest. He doesn't hate animals. He doesn't like want ill intent to them. He just
No.
wants.
I mean, that's fair.
He could do without animals.
No, my day life, I work with dogs, and I totally get it. Like it's all I do, and I'm like, oh, I get totally why
what?
they throw up poop, man.
Because they
Like-
eat poop.
Yeah, they eat poop and then they throw it up, and like that's the worst thing. Like I cannot think of anything worse.
Well, I mean, that's an Olympic sport in Germany.
And they eat cat poop.
Whatever. It's like nuggets.
Yeah,
Though.
Well, I
Okay,
mean, like
I don't
nuggets.
understand. I mean, can it be really that bad for the dog? They have a pretty hard stomach.
so
Also, it helps me clean the cat box.
It's not
Oh no!
I know it's not great.
Because then they're getting the litter in there too. That's not good. Okay. We'll go through the layers.
So Zoidberg is in a bathtub full of brine.
Have you ever read any Mary Roach? She does like popular science writing. It's very engaging. It's usually about a specific topic and kind of like the outer limits of that. So like,
No, I was thinking of Mary Worth.
no, she came up. I think she actually comes up in
Which
this
I think
episode.
they mentioned. Yeah.
So Mary Roach writes these awesome books. Like there's one called Packing for Mars, and it's all about the space program, but it's like they had to design special underwear for astronauts because it would literally rot off their bodies inside the spacesuits. So it's sort of like that angle on things. She's done like books about like the body farm and what happens to bodies when you die. She's done stuff about food. She's done stuff about sex. It's all like super engaging, really great stuff. So she did this one. I think it's in Gulp, which is about like food and the science of food. And there's a whole detour into like pet food and how they make it. And the thing is, like when they're making like, this is the best vegan, finest salmon, for your cats, like there's nothing animals like more than stuff that smells like decomposing rotten shit. Like that's what turns them on because of their sense of smell.
My dog rolls around in it, literally.
Yeah, because it's like perfume.
He loves
it's like,
it.
To be like, here's a macaroni and cheese bath with some butter to towel off with after. Like for them, it's just beautiful. So whatever, like science spends all this time trying to make animal food palatable for humans, not necessarily to taste, but they're like, oh, this is good. But really, like that's all they want. They just want shit. It's not necessarily healthy, but I don't think it's gonna kill them. Like if they were in the wild, they'd be eating it.
See, now in Kentucky life, that's where like that's pretty much what they do. They just let the dogs go and like just fend for whatever.
Yeah.
And they don't necessarily make the healthiest choices.
To be fair, neither do I.
like you see them like throw up a lot of weird things. Like you're like, okay, you really flew for the sun for that one. So like I can see where they need somebody making their decisions for. Even in the wild, there's like a pack leader that like eats first. That's like, okay, this won't kill everybody. Dig in.
An old friend of mine had a dog in college, and he was a butt scraper on the floor. Like that was generally his thing. But there's this one time he starts doing that. His little blue thing starts coming out of his butt. And he had a whole shopping bag that he had eaten.
Oh my
and
God.
it passed through. So they start trying to pull it out.
Oh.
They get a whole blue plastic.
Oh my God.
And then they used it to clean up the poop that came out afterwards.
no.
It's like it just came out like already knotted.
They were hippies. I mean,
That dog is so lucky that it just pooped the
Yeah,
bag
that's
out.
really
That's
lucky.
So dangerous.
Also, like as gross as that is, that's gotta feel like exhilarating. Like, oh,
like those the guys who swallow like the linen floss
yeah.
and let it just go through so
Ooh.
they can like
or like a magician with the hankies coming out of the sleeve.
Yeah.
So Zoidberg is
Sorry, we're way off.
Let's talk about something less gross.
bathing in
Zoidberg
his
a
own
bath
brine.
and spraying it all over it.
Got a blowhole. So did you guys notice? Did Amy say anything in this episode? Because she's in it like 2 or 3 times, but I don't think she says anything. Like Zoidberg blowholes the brine on her, but she doesn't go like, ugh, gleesh. You know, like she just says nothing and she just wipes it
hands
off.
the card
it's really
to
it's really odd
Fred.
and awkward that there is no Amy dialogue, but for some reason she's in it.
Is Lauren Tom listed on the cast for this one? Just as
I
a
don't know. I didn't look.
interesting. Because there was some
it's
guest vocal
probably
talent.
just because it's probably a contract that they're just listed in the because this is
Yeah.
season 4, so they're
So-
all.
They're making syndication money at this point.
She
Right.
is not listed as one of the voice actors though in the episode.
Good catch. Michelle with the Bechdel.
And Professor
Same.
isn't in it at all.
Yeah.
No?
No, nothing.
You know what? They do kind of veer off into Fry solo
just
territory pretty quickly.
Fry
Yeah.
and Leela. And Ben, I mean, how much is Bender?
There's not
in
even
it?
a lot of Bender.
There's
Yeah.
just a little bit of Bender at the very beginning.
And some Nibbler. I mean, so, all right. The thing that kind of, we talked about this a little bit or I have, because
It was like one of the
You
Family
probably talked about
Ties
it, we didn't
episodes
listen.
where it's all Alex in the spotlight.
He's doing the Eric Bogosian
Yeah.
like one-man show in his bedroom.
Yeah. Oh my God, that was a great reference. You pulled it.
Thanks.
Wow.
There's this abrupt shift in this one too, because there was a point maybe, I don't know, 10, 15, 20 episodes ago where like all of a sudden Fry's really into Leela, like really into Leela. And then I feel like that kind of drifted away for a while. And then this comes back and just like, and then he's like upset that she's going on dates and it's a whole thing.
Well, I also think like it's okay that it goes away and comes back. Like if it was like every episode, that would get incredibly annoying and boring.
Like on Cheers or on Friends or on any other show where they sustained a will they won't they dynamic for like a decade.
Yeah, but that's not what this show is about. They just sprinkle that in.
I don't think Friends was about Ross and Rachel and would they or wouldn't they?
I think it is actually.
It
Is
is.
I thought it was just about friends.
No,
living in
really,
New York.
it
Yeah,
ended
it's
with
Friends.
Ross and
Will they
Rachel.
or won't they?
Like that was the big like thing. Would they end up together in the end? Who cares about Chandler and Monica?
I just care about Joey, and I was really
And
disappointed when he did get his own show because it was not very good.
Well, how could it be?
How many times have we brought up Friends and started talking about that? And
This is really just a Friends podcast, and you've all been duped at home.
Guys,
I'm ending with the theme song of that show for this episode. Now, for the end picture, we have to go take a picture with umbrellas and a fountain.
so the turn, and you know, as I'm wont to do, I veered us off in a bunch of different directions. But Fry got all excited and suited up, and then he missed the mission completely.
He was looking up curse words in the dictionary.
Wait, you know what? The professor is in this, isn't he? Because doesn't he give them? No, they got medals, but they just got the medals.
Yeah.
on their
Yeah.
own.
And we got
Okay.
medals.
Yeah, because it all went better than it normally does because Fry wasn't along. That's
Have you ever looked up curse words in the dictionary?
me.
Yeah.
When
When I was younger, I used to look up all kinds of things in the dictionary.
yeah, I actually have I have a book upstairs called The F Word, which is like 200 pages of conjugations of ways to use fuck.
Oh yeah.
It's pretty
I know.
great.
I'm familiar with
Because
that.
it goes into places you wouldn't expect it to go. I had someone say something to me at work today. It wasn't even like a curse, but like I had never heard it in my 42 some years on this planet. I had never heard anyone say this phrase to me, and I can't confirm that it exists. Like
I want you to say it, but then I'm going to bleep it out so no one hears it.
the phrase was "good say." Anyone?
What?
Good say.
Like you said something good?
Yes.
Ew, that doesn't sound right.
I'd never heard it.
Oh, I thought it was a curse word.
No.
Oh.
No, I just meant like I
You
know
should.
all the curse.
You should still bleep it. And put
I'm
it
going
behind,
to.
put it behind a paywall.
Yes.
So I didn't look up bad words in the dictionary, but I did look weird medical conditions up in like a medical encyclopedia.
That doesn't surprise me at all.
That was what I did.
I have to consult Urban Dictionary a lot because I'm old and people say things and I just don't get. Like I've looked up several times what "bay" means, and I still don't understand it.
Nor should you. And even just don't use that word. Let's pretend it doesn't exist.
No
Really?
no one should use that.
Even
No.
if you're talking about like
Really?
an inlet where you can dock your boats.
Well, that's
That's
a different
BAY bay.
Yes,
Okay.
not BAE, which you're just negating one letter.
Yeah.
And it's not even a new letter. It's a repeat of a letter. Babe. Bay is babe, basically.
Well, but it means something, and I always forget because it seems really stupid. I can't retain it.
Just like your love interest, your girlfriend or boyfriend or partner or whatever you want to call it. It's your babe. Like when bae XYZs, and then it's a meme thing now. I don't even think people actually honestly say bae.
I still say
I don't.
boo. Like it seems like boo and baby have
But you can
like
just use
merged
a little
together.
ghost emoji for that now. That means boo.
Boo?
Okay.
Oh God.
What's up, boo?
Fuck.
Just a little
my
ghost.
God. I'm going to go home and like propose to my girlfriend. Make sure she never leaves me.
I haven't had a
Gotta lock that
significant
down.
other in
I
like
can't.
3 years. So
Yeah. Well, you got to keep up with the ghosts.
I makes me want to pull a DB Cooper, just like jump out of a plane and disappear because I can't keep up and it's too much information.
On one of my podcasts, Sorry Please Continue, we had the daughter of the federal agent that brought him down tell the story. It was
Really?
Yeah, it was like last year or so.
Well,
but-
wait a second. He's DB Cooper?
Yeah. Am I thinking of the right guy?
That's the guy that hijacked the plane that
Yeah.
they never found out who it was.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he
like the
disappeared.
not that brought him down, but like the guy that like searched for him and searched for him and searched for him.
Oh, okay.
Like the FBI agent.
you made me think that there
No,
was a
brought him
resolution
down.
to that story.
I was no, there's no resolution. I don't know why I said it like that. I don't edit things that I say beforehand. I spread misinformation.
That works better on
Well,
this
this
show.
is fake news.
I thought there recently was, but we can look that up after.
Yeah, it's
I don't know about that.
what was
Who cares? I don't care anymore. About DB Cooper.
Yeah, that $1 million would have been spent by now anyways.
And that was like $1 million 70s money, so it's like
yeah.
$30 million now.
Yeah.
I mean, really my favorite and this is a story I stick to is that DB Cooper was Jimmy James on news radio, and that's I understand that he's a fictional character, but honestly I think that's the more satisfying
I'm sorry,
story.
I'm behind on my news radio fan podcast. Which one was Jimmy James?
Stephen Root, the owner.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
like that. I like that story. the
You
best.
St. Elsewhere'd it.
Did that?
That's where like it connects everything.
Oh yeah. Well, I thought that was Munch from SVU.
No, it's the autistic kid from St. Elsewhere. That's like the
with
root
the
of
snow
it.
globe. Does
Yeah,
he
yeah.
connects- Oh, see.
That's the root of the connect. Everything is connected.
Then where does Richard Belzer fit in?
I don't know, man.
There's not
That's
even a
deep.
dead dog that we're trying to avoid this week.
I refuse to talk about this episode.
The B story in this is about Leela and the mayor's aide.
Chaz.
Yes.
I like that.
Who
That-
is
that
Bob-
Made me laugh.
Odenkirk.
Bob Odenkirk, yeah.
It doing like a very wonderful proto Saul Goodman.
Yeah.
Which I mean, this came out when
April,
2003.
yeah,
Okay.
April 6th, 2003.
Wow, that's good.
Well, I mean,
Yeah,
we
it makes
followed
sense.
along, but it's I caught that right away, and it's such a classic Odenkirk archetype.
Right.
Like how much Mr. Show have you guys watched?
Yeah, I've watched pretty much all
Several.
of it.
Yeah.
Some.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, probably all of it.
Did you ever check out the Ben Stiller Show?
Yes.
Mm,
I love the theme song to the Ben Stiller show.
It's a Dweezil Zappa ditty.
Hmm.
Was that outside your scope, Tim?
It was I was a little young for that, and they never really reran it or anything. So
It's
Where
probably
did I
out
see
there.
that? Like, yeah, because I'm young for that,
Yeah,
but I watched it. It was on something. I think,
Comedy Central might have rerun it for a while.
to be honest, I think the either that or like I think Horchie and I like looked it up on
Like YouTube.
like
or something.
YouTube and watched a bunch of it.
I mean, it only ran for one season, but there was so much good stuff in there, and the core cast was Ben Stiller, Janine Garofalo, Bob Odenkirk, and Andy Dick before he went super bad shit.
yeah.
But then the writers, it was like Judd Apatow, Dana Gould, Dina
Ernest
Stamatopoulos. So it was just like, I think David Cross was a writer too. So it was basically this whole thing that kind of morphed into Mr. Show too, because it was a lot of those same people. And just even back then, like Odenkirk always played that like put upon, just
Like
God damn it, you know, which is basically how I am at home when people aren't here.
just
Daughter, like,
a rageaholic.
yeah, I just
There's fist holes in all the walls here. I didn't want to say anything.
I've gotten really good at patching, and these calluses are pretty cool. So the thing about Chaz, aside from Leela meeting him at a charity cockfight, which
That's really funny. That's
Yeah.
yeah.
that was a fantastic.
That made me
bit.
laugh.
And I mean, All right. I'm not trying to bring down the ire of any more animal rights people because I think I'm getting misconstrued.
Go for it.
actual
Go
feeling.
for it.
Why is cockfighting bad?
Well, roosters are really, really vicious. Like,
Yeah.
it's like it's a blood sport. It really is. And
Okay.
like, even on a farm setting, you don't have roosters together.
Right.
Like, so there's a reason it doesn't happen.
They
So-
both end up dying.
and it's not like
Both
you,
of them?
Mm.
Does everybody get a chicken dinner at the end of it?
No, because
No?
like maybe chicken nuggets, but it's not even like because it's not
They
like that's a
tear
good
each other
eating.
apart.
It's not like that's a good
Really?
eating chicken.
Yeah, and then the other one dies of its injury.
It's flavored with
It's-
rage.
Oh, isn't that
And
not
why do you
good
want
eating?
why do you want two living things like beating the shit out of each other for your entertainment?
Well, if they were going to get like sent off to the Purdue plant anyway, it seems like
Well, that's not even necessarily the rooster, anyways, because the rooster like
They're raised to be fighters.
are they too gamey or something or just
yeah, well, yeah. I think it is. I don't want. I'm a vegetarian, so I don't know actually if rooster tastes different, but I do know that they do only keep them separated on the farm because they're like super territorial.
so it's
So it's like their natural instinct to fight, but it's also to like
and then they like amp them up on meth and like
probably
give,
they
like,
probably
little
give
razor
them crack
claws
rocks or something. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Tattoos.
I mean, I understand how all of that is unseemly. It's just I didn't know if there's probably some sort of awful abuse component to it.
Yeah.
Like, but it's almost like if you came across two roosters in the wild and they just started like attacking each other, would you just kind of wait it out and like, say, hey, I'll give you $5 on
Oh yeah, if you just saw two roosters fighting like naturally,
and then
yeah,
you
it
just
would be
have it,
awesome.
and then just a crowd happens to show up.
Yeah.
That you can bet on it. That's okay. I condone that type of cockfighting.
Organic cockfighting.
Yeah.
Yes. That's what we can say.
Okay, so I guess, and then if it was a charity cockfight, it would
No.
be like you'd place your bets, but all that money would probably go to whatever cause.
Yeah.
Did they say what cause it was for?
No, probably not. No.
Huh. But yeah, the whole thing with Chaz is like he's really impressed with himself, and that's
He's
kind
the what is a mayor's aide?
mayor's
Is that
aide.
even an important position?
well, I think it's basically like what Michael J. Fox was on Spin
I was
City.
just thinking of that. Yeah, is the
But
this
he
guy
was,
does
he
all the
didn't
real
lord
work.
that over people. He was very chill about it.
Yeah. Well,
It's Michael J. Fox.
I love that show until
The Charlie Sheen.
Charlie
era.
Sheen showed up.
You can say that about just about anything.
Except Ferris Bueller's Day Off
He's good in that. He's kind of playing himself.
and Hot Shots. That entire movie is an awesome movie.
What about Part 2?
I still like Part 2.
Yeah.
Huh.
I haven't seen Hot Shots in so long. I don't know if I would still like.
I got
it.
more of the reference in Part 2 because like I was a little bit older and I kind of knew what was going on during that time.
Okay. I was at a client site for a week a couple weeks ago, and I had to talk 8 hours a day in a small room full of people. And about halfway through day 2, they're like, "You sound like Charlie Sheen." I'm like, "Fuck!" And they tried for the rest of the time I was there to make me say "winning."
Okay.
I'm not gonna do that. I'm not, and they wouldn't let up. I didn't
Although
do
if
it.
you're listening to this at home, you could like just loop it.
I can't tell people I work with.
You would have
the
said it
show.
and then they would have been disappointed because you wouldn't have said it right.
Like, hang on. If I'm going to do that, I need 4 hookers and a bunch of cocaine.
I guess you kind of do. I wouldn't think of Charlie Sheen as having a particularly distinctive voice. Martin Sheen,
Yes.
there's a distinctive voice.
Yeah. But how... I don't need to derail this into the whole Estevez situation because that's always confused me. With Bender was blowtorching his armpits after he took that shower. I didn't really get that. Was that just supposed to be like he's blow drying himself, or was that something that
Yeah, I think it was just
Yeah.
blow-drying
just
himself.
getting the moisture off?
Yeah.
But I guess that's really the point where Fry starts feeling super inconsequential because he's been rejected by the crew. He's been rejected by Leela personally because she's got this hot date with
Nope.
Chad.
Yeah. So
Whoa,
that all
whoa.
kind of makes sense.
She's got a date with the mayor's aide.
Yeah.
But
It's very important.
well, he seems to.
He
think
got a
so.
table at Elzar's.
What was empty?
without a reservation.
Yeah.
Do you notice that, like, as they're walking, he, like, taps Elzar on the shoulder like he wanted that table right there? Can you do that at a restaurant as they're walking and be like,
If you're a Bear's
no,
Aid.
If
no.
it's empty, I mean, like, I'm surprised that Elzar was actually acting as maitre d' at his own restaurant.
That shows how bad
I mean, if you don't
it's
like
going.
a table at a restaurant, you can ask for a different table. Like when I went to Mabel's on my birthday, they tried to sit me at one of those big, giant, like family style group tables in the middle, and I was.
They thought you had a whole bunch of friends
No,
coming for
they
your
didn't,
birthday.
because we asked for two.
That's so
like,
sad.
They knew that there were two of us, and they tried to sit us with like these older dudes who were like clearly on a business meeting, and my friend and I were like, "No, we don't want these dudes to hear what we're about to talk about."
And those guys probably paid, like tipped the host to be like, "Any nice young ladies come in, sit next to us." That's probably what happened.
That is not how I would be
Nah,
like,
I
room
don't
for
know.
appetizers. Let's do this. Let's get a multiple plate situation here going.
I would have demanded that, but then I would have had sit at one head of the table and then made my date sit at the other. So it's like a really long, like I'm rich.
Have you seen those tables? They're like 45 feet
It's like
long,
the first
Tom.
Batman where Michael Keaton and what's her name? Kim Basinger. Is that how you pronounce it?
Either that or Basinger.
Basinger. I
don't
think it's
it
Basinger.
matters.
All right.
Like Last Man on Earth, they do that joke too with the Kirsten Shaw and what's his face?
Will Forte.
Yes. I don't know why I just blanked on Will Forte's name. But they sit at like opposite ends of the table, but it's like a table for 100 people.
But
and
then he has like
he
a
has
robot,
the robot,
right?
yeah, like the remote control. Like, can you pass the salt? Sure, honey. And he just races it to her on the RC car, I think is what it was.
This table is like right by your elbow there, Tim, is where my daughter used some sort of nail polish
Okay.
Oh,
to remove the finish of the table.
Okay.
the ire of a father who has a ruined piece of wood. I know that. I know that feeling.
Here's the thing. I'm not happy about it. It's actually like a constant source of anxiety, and I'm being very genuine and sincere right now. Like it leads me to be psychologically unwell, but I am aware of the fact that I literally cannot have anything nice because everything that comes into this house is going to get fucked up by my daughter or by these goddamn cats. And
Yeah, cats are the worst.
the brand new furniture, it's already torn up. This was my night.
Neither Tim nor Pete's comments right now reflect how the podcast feels.
I
as
have a
whole.
cat and I love him, but he did destroy. He dumped a pitcher of water on my MacBook and destroyed it.
Oh God! And
And
probably
then
on
he-
purpose.
Yeah, and then he went back and destroyed the pitcher. It was a nice glass pitcher.
Fuck you!
You
and
read
your
Apple's terms of
glassware.
service. You're not supposed to have water within 100 feet of any Mac product.
It was, yeah, that's true. I mean, I shouldn't have.
So, along these lines, last week my daughter got horribly ill for a couple days, and like Thursday night it was barf city up here, and just everywhere. Like I don't know how 3 gallons of puke can come out of an 8-year-old, but it did. It was everywhere. So clean all that up, doing the laundry, whatever. The next morning I'm like, I have to run the carpet cleaner tonight and shampoo this out because this room stinks like
That's a
puke.
good investment.
Yeah. Oh, it's absolutely right. So that morning, come downstairs, cat puke in the living room too. So clean that up. I'm like, this is my Friday night carpet shampooing. Get done shampooing the carpets Friday night. I have to do it at 3 different floors. I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna do this. Get done. It's like 11 o'clock at night. I'm sitting down to try and take the edge off, which I do by drinking excessively.
And I broke in the door and threw up everywhere.
Oh, hold on. Hold on. It gets better. Sit down. My wife goes to bed. One of her asshole cats is sitting on the other side of the couch. And as I'm sitting there trying to relax, it starts. He's on the couch. So I jump up to go shoo him off, splashing wine out of my cup onto the couch. So now I've made a mess because of this fucking cat, and he continues to puke on the couch, runs off. So clean that up. 2 hours later, and I'm sleeping on this now stained couch because the bed is taken up by all the sick people. It's
Right.
become an infirmary. And the other cat over by the TV stares at me and then proceeds to throw up on the carpet I just shampooed with like the eyes, just like, like threateningly, like, what are you going to do about it? And just everywhere.
First of all, why are your cats throwing up so much? That is not good.
Yeah.
That's what they do. If you licked all the hair off your body to clean yourself, I would think it would make you have an upset tummy.
There's a little cream we give our cat that seems to curb that, but I don't know what it's called or what it does, but I do know that it's chicken flavored.
Also, if you let cats throw up and let it dry, it's way easier just to vacuum it up.
No, it's not. This isn't.
You give it
this is
2, 3, a week.
You let your dog lick it to kind of keep
Or you get your other cat to clean it up, because my one cat will go and eat the other cat's vomit.
You thought we talked about Futurama on this show.
Oh, man. Yeah, we have not gotten to this
Tom's
yet.
already on his 3rd beer, and we're only like 5 minutes into the episode.
I know.
So this is the part where they remark that Fry is or Fry says he's unimportant, like the guy in the back of a Mary Worth comics. Like,
Totally missed that reference when I watched the episode.
is Mary Worth still a thing?
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's actually not a bad premise. It's just a woman in an apartment building who gets into other people's in the apartment building's
So
business.
she's just nosy.
Yeah. And it's been running for like 70 years.
But she was like 70 when it started.
And it's like 2 panels usually. Or
That's why
even sometimes it's one long
It's only
panel.
been like 1 week in the world of Mary Worth, because each panel is only like 2 seconds of her day.
What's there were 3 of them, weren't there? There was Mary Worth.
Well, there's Apartment 3G, I think
that-
is the one you're thinking of. That's like the offshoot.
Oh
of
my
Mary
God.
Worth.
Can you
Worth.
imagine how terrible you are in life when you're a Mary Worth knockoff? Like, this is the
Well,
most
it was a
creative thing I
spin-off.
can
think
do.
It was the same artist, or maybe you know how they do that.
It's
Yeah.
an apartment. If she's in an apartment, she's in an apartment building.
Like, what is it? High and Lois and Beetle Bailey.
Yeah.
And that guy had a whole thing. I think Hagar the Horrible. And
Those are good.
eh.
They're
I
okay.
mean,
They're pretty good. I like Beetle
They're
Bailey.
way better than Mary Worth.
It's weird with Beetle Bailey because it was probably like way funnier before Vietnam. Like all these soldiers just loafing.
Yeah, they're just being lazy. They should be bullet sponges. That's what we hired them for.
Judge Parker, that was another one, right?
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
You know what would be awesome? Here's more intellectual property that we're giving away for free. If you did that same style of comic, but like about just a filthy dirtbag hippie or something, which I guess is probably kind of like American Splendor, but really just like banal minutia of like.
Have you ever looked up Tijuana Bibles?
Oh yeah,
I used to have a book of them. I've lost it. It was like it was
Lost.
amazing.
Somebody stole that from you.
I mean, it wasn't like an actual book. It was just like a compilation kind of thing of everything. But it would be like where you would see like Mary Worth in like profoundly pornographic situations, like 30s pornographic too. So there was like weird lingo that you've never heard of, like I'm gonna lick her splitted. What? Like,
Oh, and I was wrong. Apartment 3G is not tied into the same world as Mary Worth, but it is about 3 career women who live in an apartment together.
There's gonna be some asshole gritty reboot of Mary Worth.
Abigail Tommy Thompson, Luann Powers, and Margot McGee were the names of those women.
Wait, what was the middle one's name?
Luann Powers.
Which one is the
Wait, her name's
loose one?
I don't remember.
which one is the Rue McClanahan of the group?
Yeah, exactly.
Slut.
That would be great if somebody made like a Golden Girls adaptation comic strip.
I'm sure they have. Like that's the whole thing. There's so. See, I know I say this as one of the hosts.
You
of a
say it
show
as if
that's-
it's more obvious than it is, I believe.
well, like.
What's that
this-
rule? What is it? Rule?
The one where
public domain?
anytime you think of something that could
Yeah,
be
no,
porn, it
yeah.
already is.
Rule 34.
Yeah, Rule 34.
Wait, you're the one that told me about that website.
I know.
How did you forget it?
No, I wanted to make sure everyone knew what it
Oh,
was.
okay. It's there's no original content, but I say that as doing a show that's derivative of another show in the first place. Granted, we've barely talked about it again.
Yeah, I am the worst person for sticking on topic, guys. I'm sorry.
Make a note and put in the end song and then be like, no, just kidding.
So when they finally sit down at the restaurant, there's the cooks coming out of the kitchen like chasing the roach.
Right.
Yeah, I loved the sign in the restaurant that says bathroom is for Stroganoff customers only.
I didn't see that.
I didn't see that either.
I would like that for my house.
Is that because the stroganoff is going to make you need to use it, or is that because the stroganoff is the most expensive thing?
I think either works
All
for
right.
the joke.
But then with the loaf of bread,
Isn't stroganoff like where you like use the last bits of everything though? I think that's.
I mean, it's beef.
I mean,
tips.
not now, but beef tips. That's like the tips of everything that you
Stew-
use for good.
Stew in general is sort of like, how can we make this half rotten meat and these shitty vegetables palatable? I love it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's amazing.
Hearty.
Oh my God,
Sticks to
stew.
your ribs. It's getting to be crockpot weather.
Oh my God, I'm stew hungry right now.
I made a pot roast a couple days ago. It was good.
Did you use a crock pot?
Yeah, of course. That's what you do when you
shit,
make a
we're-
pot roast.
We're an Instant Pot household now. That
Oh,
shit's
I
even
need to
better.
You
get
could use a
one.
pressure cooker.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what the Instant Pot does.
I need an
amazing.
Instant Pot. Maybe that's what I should have asked for Christmas instead of cash.
I'm going to Google Instapot when I get home because that's a kitchen gadget I don't have.
Oh, the box is right behind you on the floor because they don't have anywhere to put it. It's an electronic pressure cooker, and the things it can
It
do.
uses
to me-
electricity to cook the food.
Yeah, so I mean, you can actually use it as a slow cooker, but you can use it as a fast cooker too. And that's what like frozen chicken right out of the thing. 40 minutes, it's done, and now it's like shreddable and good, and it's pretty great.
Well, I asked my mom for a sous vide, and she was like, "Would you rather have a sous vide or cash?" And I went, "Come on, cash." So
What is a sous vide?
so it's basically like cooking things with water is the best way that.
Which you're
going to
say, wait, that sounds like boiling.
No, it's like it's hard to explain. It's like sealed
Like
Okay,
a seal?
in liquid.
so it's like so you can cook it with an even temperature. I'm
Yes.
guessing, so it gets cooked really evenly. Okay, I can see that.
It's some sort of
Can you cook anything in it?
your shoes.
I mean,
I mean, that's kind of how a double boiler works in
Yeah.
a lot of ways.
Yeah.
How quick
kind
could
of.
you cook bacon in the fast cooker thing that you got?
well, it would cook it very quickly, but it wouldn't crisp it because it's all about moisture and pressure.
That's all I want. I want
moist
very
bacon.
moist, chewy, fatty bacon.
Let's do some experiments later, Tom.
All right. And we can get a deep fryer and we can make a
I
list
have a
of
deep
what
fryer.
I
we
got one
can and
too.
we can't deep
Oh,
fry.
you can deep
Because
fry
I
anything.
believe the list of things you can't deep fry is going to be way shorter than
It
things
is
you can deep
very
fry.
People own a deep fryer. I was having this thought last week because I was like, oh, I might get a deep fryer. How long can you own a deep fryer and use it before you're like, I'm disgusted with myself?
Oh,
Okay.
40 minutes.
I'm going on 2 years, so
2 years, a year, and I was using mine, and I'm like, you know what? I gotta clean this, and I took it apart
Oh
to
my
clean
God.
it, and then I couldn't put it back together, so I just threw it out.
you waited 2 years, a
No,
year.
a year to
You
clean.
waited a year
no,
to clean your teeth.
I mean to really clean it. Like you
Oh,
can
with,
only
like, some
clean it
barkeeper's
so
friend.
much. Like
I dump the oil every 2.
I mean,
or
it was
so
in
times
like
I
the
use it, depending on what I've
seams and
cooked.
everything was gross. So I took out a couple screws, and then we don't know what happened to those screws.
Jeez.
The machine was trying to save you. It was being altruistic.
Boom, boom, boom.
Kill me.
So the roaches are coming out of the kitchen. Elzar smashes
we're
the
there.
one with the loaf of bread. And Chaz, being the mayor's aide, is like, I got you. Not being like disgusted.
No,
And then he
he's
just-
happy he got a table.
Yeah, but he wipes the roach off on his
On
whites.
that's like the corner of the table. I thought.
Free
Yeah.
bread at a restaurant.
Is there anything you can't do?
That
Fail the mayor
Ever.
ever.
So after their lovely dinner at Elzar's, they go to Ozorgnax's pub where Fry is wallowing in his own sorrows. So Fry sees Leela and Chaz walk in, and he goes, oh no, Leela's here. I can't let her see me. And she immediately goes, is that Fry I hear?
So Bender just ditched him. Oh, that's right, because Bender was like, oh, I'll do anything you want. And he's like, can we go bowling? Nope.
Nope. So Leela asks Fry if he can go walk Nibbler because she might not come home later. Because she's on a hot date that's going real well.
Oh, this part got me like a little civil rights mad, like when like
oh yeah,
because he was picking up the poop.
He was
Oh, yeah.
he was
And it
trying to
weighs
pick
the-
it up, and it's
The weight of 1,000 suns.
Yeah, but the bag was on it, his hand. He was trying, and they were like, "Hey, buddy."
And he gets a ticket and he just leaves that poop there. I guess at that point, why
Yeah,
would
if you're
you
gonna
ever
get a
pick
ticket,
it
yeah,
up?
I'm just gonna leave it.
Yeah.
Based on our earlier discussions, and see, I was
is
being
dark matter.
preemptively on topic. Wouldn't Nibbler just eat his own poop?
No,
Why?
because he doesn't normally eat his own poop.
He could, though. He can eat anything.
It's dark
he's,
matter.
He's walking around talking later in the episode, so I imagine if he can do that, he wouldn't eat his own poop.
I mean, some of the stuff he's eating is pretty.
Yeah, not all dogs eat their own poop. Some eat it with a reckless enthusiasm.
Neither of my dogs eat their own poop or either each other's poop.
Yeah, it's like a condition.
One of them tried cat poop once, and then the other one saw it, and the other one ended up trying it and liking it. So now,
Corporophagia or
every
something
once
is
in a
when-
while, I have to say, "Hey, get your head out of the litter box."
My dog went through a cat poop phase where I kept on like catching her.
Yeah.
I would
It's
look
a
up.
phase.
I like looked up and I wouldn't see her, and I'm like, Lola, are you eating cat poop? And she'd like run out of the bathroom like.
Well, it's a deficiency that makes them. There's like a drive to eat the poop, their own poop, because they're nutrient deficient. That's what I've always heard, because I think they make pills. Like if you feed the dog special coroprophagia or whatever that
Coprophagia?
yeah, however
Yeah.
you pronounce that word,
It's
that
a
is
tough
when a
one.
dog is eating its own poop.
Yeah.
It like giving them the pill will make them stop eating poop. I don't know why, but that's what I've always
I'm gonna look up this
assumed.
poop because, like, honestly, I am dealing with this, and now I'm just going into work problems. But this dog. I have never seen a dog eat poop with like. I have to race him to it, and you can't really beat a dog on foot. And like, he'll see like the dog, like if a dog's going to the bathroom, like it's not like, oh, I'll just like slide over there because this dog's name. I feel like I should change the dog's name, but I'm not going to. Jorge is the dog's name. Jorge will also see the dog like waiting, and he'll like go right up to the butthole and just like receive it into his mouth. And I'm like, I'm not sticking a bag in there.
That's like 2 dogs, 1 cup.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
2
And
dogs,
it's
1
happening
mouth.
every day. And like he throws up poop every day. And like that's like cuz he eats too much poop. He eats too much, so he just like throws it up. So now
and that's-
it has like now it's a throw up smell with like released all the power of the poop smell, and it's like it's the worst. It is worse than racism. It is. I can't think of anything worse than this poop that has been thrown up.
Have you tried to make him use a knife and fork?
What's the point? It's not going to be down on the plate for long. It's like
Well, that's part of the training aspect. You're like, you can
this
do
is
it.
daycare. Like so this isn't like because I'm not like, oh, I'm training this dog. Like not. I'm just like
He's keeping it
watching.
from dying.
Yeah, I'm just like watching it during the day with a bunch of other dogs in the room with like good ass poop.
Does your daycare have the video feeds for people?
Yeah.
Do you ever like put on like the saw mask?
This is what your dogs do when you're at work.
This is what I found out. People on the cameras have very little very little sense of humor about dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I've heard that.
Yeah, there is. Oh man, if you were the type of person to like sit at your office and like watch your dog like for hours,
Yeah.
and like you've got you've got a bunch of crazy requests in you.
My dog blinked 12 times in the last 10 seconds. She never does that at home.
Yeah, that's what they're like. That's pretty much what they're like. They're like, "Can you, dude? Like, my dog is like, what's wrong with them? What's like, they're sad. Like, why are they getting humped?" And they'll be like,
Okay, so in public, can you get well? As in the place that you're watching these dogs is in private, so you wouldn't necessarily get a 289 failure to scoop. But
No.
Can you still get those out in the wild?
not. I can't imagine that's happened in Cleveland because I've certainly
Stepped in a lot of dog shit.
Well, I've certainly left a lot down because I'll let my dog shit on city property. Because I used to just like live by the cop yard. So I'll be like, fuck you. Like I'm not going to be like, oh, well, there's a weave that was torn off by a transsexual prostitute. There's a bunch of broken wild Irish rose. Like, why don't I pick up this poop? Like that's what's ruining this neighborhood.
Just all the straight up dog shit. Fuck you and your broken
And
window
then-
policy, Giuliani.
Yeah.
A flower comes out of the dog poop.
Yeah, well, that's the circle of life. What is shit if not fertilizer?
Yeah. Listen,
Poop eradication is but one aspect of your importance.
my feeling is I didn't pay anything for my dog, so I'm not picking up the poop. If you have a designer dog, pick up the poop.
If you can afford specific breeds and whatnot.
Yeah.
So does anybody else ever get freaked out when Nibbler reveals himself? This is the
No.
second time it's happened.
What?
Just
Because you forget about how he can talk.
no, it's
Holy
such
crap! What?
Where did he reveal himself before?
To Leela.
In the other one
the
with
brain.
the brain ember
The brain.
Yeah,
episode.
the brain.
Oh, okay. See, like when cartoon, and this is kind of my problem with the Simpsons too. I always feel like they begin to go downhill when they begin to get like self-referential. When they.
That
Well,
explains
this
the last
is
20
a
years of
this
The
is a
Simpsons,
Oh, yeah.
sequel to that. So this episode, because they refer back to when it happened,
and explain
and
it further.
yeah, the reason why Fry wasn't affected by the brains in that first episode was because he lacks the delta brainwave, which turns out is because he went back in time and slept with his own grandmother, become his own grandfather.
Yeah, he is his own grandfather.
I did do the nasty and the pasty.
That
Yeah.
past nastification.
I love that phrase because it's so absurd, and I think I'd only seen it written out before, whereas to do the nasty and the pasty, and it's spelled like pasty, and that always threw me off. And just to hear him say it so matter of factly is just like. But then Nibbler's, past nastification, like it's a whole conjugatable verb. It's really, it's fantastic. It's but I just like that, especially when that it's Frank Welker that does the voice, I think. Like he's just got such a total radio announcer voice from the so whenever that comes out, it's so jarring, especially on Nibbler. I get this juxtaposition.
They all have like super like deep and like very like I can't think of the word.
It's commanding.
They're like the
Yeah, like
striking
very-
voices.
yeah,
Even like the
striking
women are
voices.
like,
But then when they can like get. He goes over and tickles him under the chin, and then they go. They have like the cuddle noises.
The one point he's like talking about the plan and he's playing with the
Like a
like
cat
little mouse on
batting at the thing.
scratching post.
I mean, are they supposed to be cats or just the Niblonians?
They're Niblonians. They've lived for like before the universe was created, so they're just they can do whatever they want. They've gotten by being cute. And really, like,
secret.
honestly, like, are they really that cute? They have like a little eye antenna sticking out of their
Right.
heads.
Fry
so.
calls them raccoons later in the episode.
I mean, isn't that's one of the jokes in Guardians of the Galaxy is that Rocket Raccoon is a raccoon, but he's not
Trash
a raccoon.
panda.
Yeah, he come up with all kinds of little names.
What, is that better? No, it's worse. It's a lot worse.
This actually had when they explained to him that he's the most important person in the universe. His response where he goes, "So the way that I feel when I'm drunk is correct." Yes.
Except the Dave Matthews Band.
doesn't rock, which my
The Dave Matthews Band does not rock.
no, and my old boss is a huge Dave Matthews fan, and I like relentlessly give him shit.
We can call him DMB if we want to save time.
Yeah, it's.
I went through my DMB phase
Really?
for a little bit.
Get out. Get out. It's fine, Tom.
Ants marching.
It's fine. You know, it's fine. I don't hate it.
He's a talented musician. I'll give him that.
Look,
I've always defended Dave Matthews Band.
Listen, you be a fan of whatever you want to be a fan on. Like the part of really my biggest failing as a person is it's nearly impossible for me to get excited about anything anymore. I'm just dead inside, except in rare occasions, like when I'm talking about Sparks or something. But like, you know, I just can't handle it. Number one, the ascent of Dave Matthews happened like kind of aligned with my college years, so white-hatted frat bros and that are like this in my brain. It's just they're inseparable. And then the other thing is, when he sings, I just hear donkeys braying, which is like when I hear the theme song to Firefly, I just hear the words Bon Jovi Up in Space over and over again instead of the actual lyrics. It's just like, it's one of those things where it just, my brain does like the synesthesia thing and just replaces it with and like, you know, like in Pinocchio when they turn into goats or donkeys.
Right.
They turn into donkeys. You were just talking about donkeys.
I corrected myself.
That would bother you a lot less if you watched as much hee-haw as I have.
That's a fair point.
I'm listening to things. I'm like, we could use a donkey in this.
I mean, you know, again with our, you know, our prescient tying topical matter together. Dave Matthews, also known for dumping a bunch of shit in a certain place. So it's
the
really,
record stores, am I right?
Oh, so we're gonna get the Firefly
Pow, pow.
fans mad at me. We're gonna get the Dave Matthews fans mad at you. The animal lovers are pissed at me.
Look, we're gonna get it. We're gonna get those numbers down to where they should be. You're still listening? What's wrong with you? I can't
At
even
this point, I assume
anymore.
no one's listening anymore.
So Fry's the mighty one. He does not know.
No.
No, he does not know.
That
No,
whole
he does
thing-
not.
Stop it. It's enough.
It was so good. Like just all the twisty turnies. Like that was a real Monty Python-esque sort of thing, which is always beautiful. Oddly enough, except when Monty Python does it now. It's a little off-putting.
It's weird to watch anybody in their 70s do what they did when they were in their 20s.
Yeah, I mean, there are... Well, I'm not going to go down a rabbit hole on Sparks, but I'll say they're an exception that proves the rule. But yeah, I get what you're saying. Like it's... Because like when they do those tours, it's just, we're going to rehash a bunch of old bits. And I think... So George Dunn went to see Steve Martin and Martin Short, and it's just like, it's not even that it's not funny. It's just, you know, that they're literally, I mean, Steve Martin especially, just like, I'm just collecting a paycheck so I can go play banjos. I literally could not give any fewer fucks about this. And I think John Cleese is really in the same boat. And then Eric Idle is the Gene Simmons of that outfit, where he's just like, money? Did someone say money? Let me cash in.
I don't know. He's done his own funny shit though. Eric Idle. Well, they've all kind of done their own thing, but I think out of all of them, Eric Idle has really done the most like external to Python stuff. Like he's done the Ruddles. That was pretty good.
You know, let him do the work and then collect the money
Yeah,
and
it's
do
fine,
whatever.
it's fine.
Whatever. People
They
are
grew
going
up during
paying
the
to go.
Blitz, like London was bombed. They're probably like, we got to put more money into the shelter, fellas.
We've got to have a stock of Heinz beans. I didn't realize that this is where the name the infosphere comes from.
Yes,
It was
yeah.
constructed by the brain. So this is the first
Yeah.
mention. Is it the last mention of that? Is this it?
Pretty much, yeah. This is it for the infosphere.
So that whole piece about they constructed a giant memory bank 3 times bigger than a regular memory bank, which, given the time frame, like that was still sort of the norm for like computer storage, where it was like, you know, like the amount of memory in this phone
Oh, and
is equal to like hundreds of thousands
Yeah.
of my first computer.
like 2003 2003. Like I think I dropped good money on like 100 gigabyte hard drive
my
or
God.
something
yeah.
like that. Like I was like, all right, now
That's
I
so
finally
much
got space for
space.
all my LimeWire downloads.
Have you ever seen the movie Johnny Mnemonic with Keanu Reeves?
Yeah.
That's a war being fought over computer storage.
512 kilobytes in his brain, which again, you could probably there's probably a USB drive that is part of like piercing jewelry that holds terabytes.
Yeah.
You know, like it's a nipple ring and it's a thumb drive all in the same device. And if nobody's making those, I call it. It's we'll start selling.
You
them.
could probably do it if it had like a retractable chain, so you can
It could be a set of clamps.
You
Plugged
could
in.
You could
That's your
also
name.
put the
Brand name.
jewelry anywhere. It could be in your ear. It could be in your nose.
A
it could
butt
be
plug
down
USB.
below.
Still, you could pull it out of your nose on that chain. Just whoop.
I would just like to think somebody have to dropping off paper like for their teacher in school and just be zip. And just unzipping their pants.
And just like doing sort of a
It's cool.
yank,
I'm just
back. So as they're coming out with the plan to destroy, this is basically it turns into Star Wars, where it's you got to get in the secret, opening and then blow things up.
well, it scans itself because beaver's made for life.
Yeah,
11 is greater than 4.
yeah. What was the last one?
Kaplan's carpet store.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
For
yeah.
quality carpets, visit Kaplan's Carpets.
So there were two voice things that happened here, and they were both like audio illusions. Number one of the Neblonians was voiced by Billy West, sounded like George Takei, and I was wondering if it was George Takei, like even way back. But there was like an oh my that came out, and it was straight off of his old George Takei version. But the data scanner sounded like Chris Hardwick.
No, it's not.
It
Definitely not.
definitely wasn't.
Yeah.
But when he was on Radiorama recently, like the voice that he was doing as whatever the character is that I can't retain, which sounded exactly the same as a data scanner. If you go back and listen, you'll be fooled.
I didn't listen to Radiorama. That is what I missed.
It's okay.
I just can't with Chris Hardwick.
This sounds like something we should talk about, but I think we're running out of time.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. I'm
I'm a little nervous and I've got brain in my butt crack.
Have you ever said that before for real?
No.
I have you ever eaten brains?
I think I have. Pretty sure I've eaten brain before.
I think I
might
have
have.
too.
Yeah.
I get tripped up on the organ meat. Tim?
nah. I'm a vegetarian.
Not even like
Back in the
before.
past. No, because
Not
because
even in,
when
like,
you're
a
a hillbilly,
stew?
people get like really weird about it. They're like, "Oh, this is good brains. You just don't want to throw it away." I'd be like, "No, I live next to a grocery store." That is, you Cornets eat the brain. I'll go eat beef like a regular person.
How long have you been a vegetarian?
About 6 years.
6 years?
Mm-hmm.
Do you ever crave it still?
Not really.
No.
Because once you make for a long time I worked at an Italian deli behind the counter while when I first started.
So you were
being
cutting up a
vegetarian,
lot of meats.
yeah, meat, a lot of questionable meat.
This looks a lot like a thigh. Shut up and slice.
Yeah. But yeah, so it's I just it's like Cheers. I just surrounded myself with it, so I'm not tempted.
I don't know if it would be just temptation.
The
It's
cooking
just-
of bacon, that smell, I could never. That and cheeseburgers. Oh
I
my
don't think
God.
it's
I want one now. Oh,
bacon
fucking
is
Big
a-
Buford. That is why I am not a vegetarian.
Oh,
Big
man.
Bufords.
That is exactly why I'm a vegetarian. I'm I could feel the soul of the cow screaming at me from the inside.
We need to start a rally tally where we just mark up every episode where we talk about rallies or a product from rallies. It'll be the Slurmcast
Those
rally
rallies
tally.
fries, those are my I poop because I eat them and I feel terrible. But then I'm like, ooh, Rally's fries.
Right?
Oh,
And the banana shakes.
I like banana shakes in general, but I
Yeah.
don't have them there.
Oh,
I haven't
next time
been
you go get
to-
fries.
I haven't been there in a long time because, I'm a grown man now.
Did you know that postage stamp glue is made out of toad mucus?
I had a suspicion.
Yeah.
It's like squeezing that toad into a bucket.
Who killed the dinosaurs? I did.
I really kind of want a Scooty Puff Jr. I know it's a terrible machine and it doesn't work right, but it seemed pretty cool.
It was cute.
Scooty Puff Jr.
They remind me of like the little popcorn machines that when you were younger, like you would
Well, it
roll
had
in
one.
and
It had
pop.
one in the
Yeah.
top. So when, he was,
Did it?
when he was flying into the
It-
infosphere, he was
what
like
the-
watching it.
the
And
sticker-
the Neblonian was trying to talk to him on his like wrist communicator thingy, and he was like, "What? I wasn't paying attention. I'm sorry."
The little like pelican was like, "Let's have safe fun" or something like that. Are you ready for safe fun?
Yeah.
Oh, see, I didn't catch that part. That makes sense later when they do the reveal.
Oh yeah.
So like, I love that Fry all of a sudden is like Mr. Curious and wants to ask all the questions. He's just like who killed the dinosaurs and that.
Yeah, but that also leads him to be discovered by the brains, where they detect a slight brainwave signal, possibly a dead weasel or cartoon viewer.
I felt that was a jab at me.
It was.
it was a jab at all of us.
That was a very old-fashioned joke. I
That
thought.
was.
Yeah.
I thought. I
Yeah.
agree.
Yeah, that's straight out of like a Merry Melodies sort of thing. But the implosion graphics when everything so they do the reveal to like make him feel bad about helping the Implonians. But the implosion was, I mean, great graphics. It looked really cool when it just kind of sucked up into itself. The
Where they
infosphere.
went into the other universe.
Yes. But then like we could sing American Pie. Go ahead, I deserve it. Did Dave Matthews ever cover American Pie, Tom?
I don't think so.
Do you want
He's African.
South African?
African pie.
Oh,
Bye, South African pie.
that could get.
Drove the Chevy to the levee, sorry for appetite.
You could work like Chappie and Deonsford into it. I mean, that's. I gotta get into the song parody business. We could be the next Seals and Crofts, Tim.
Oh my God.
Summer breeze all over the goddamn place.
So the brains tell Fry to look up the Neblonian's role in the night that he was frozen, because Fry is saying, "I don't care that I'm stuck here with you guys because we were the victors over good over evil." And they were like, "Oh, you think the Neblonians are all that great? Check it out." So Fry talks to the big brain, and the Neblonians are saying, "Oh, it'll be boring," and he goes, "Oh, forget it then." But the brains talk him into asking what happened on the night that he was frozen, and the giant brain says, "Clarification request: Philip J. Fry from Earth or Philip J. Fry from hovering Squidworld 97A?" And one of the brains just goes, "Earth, you fat idiot."
I do like how the brains are resentful of the big brain.
Yeah. The little brains, even though they're still giant brains, hate the big giant brain.
Maybe the big giant brain's sort of like the the CEO who's so far removed from
Also, the
day-to-day operations.
little brains are just doing all the work to give the
Yeah.
big brain all the information.
Exactly. They're resentful because he's just like, he gets all the credit.
Down with big brain.
Yeah.
Down with big brain.
Exactly. So I'm really bad at things that involve balance, such as roller skating, ice skating, skateboarding,
Rocket
skiing. But I would try rocket skating. That
Wile E.
was,
Coyote did that once.
did he? With
Yeah.
Acme skates or something? I thought those are just like rockets on the back of roller skates. I assume these would be like floaty in the air skating.
No, they used on the ice. I mean, there was a Zamboni out there.
Well, because the rockets would melt the ice. You'd need to smooth the ice out.
But
I
they
don't
would be
think they're
coming
actually
off.
touching the ground.
No, they'd be on ice skates, and the rockets were behind, so you could skate faster. And then you didn't have to actually move. The rockets would just go.
Is this true? Did you look at it in depth?
I'm not a rocket skate scientist. I'm sorry. I don't know the physics.
I mean, the end result of it all is that Chaz is just a total dick.
He is a dick. He
Yeah.
does not know anything about Leela. He does the exact wrong thing with her.
Yeah, by shunning the orphans. Who now she knows
False
those
move.
orphans. So like, why didn't she even be like, "Hey guys, they're all from."
Well, she says, "Can we let him skate with us?" And he's like, "Huh, those fucking kids." Mm.
I mean,
Literal quote.
yeah.
Oh, those fucking kids. Oh.
Hey, kids, fuck you.
I'm the mayor's aide.
God damn it! It's
Well, he does say, "Get out of here. Come back when you have more connections," or something like that, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's basically supposed to be the rink at Rockefeller Center, I guess. Just the way that it looks with it being sort of down, and then there's the overlook thing. Like, have you ever
Probably
seen that?
new Rockefeller Center.
Yeah, because it's fallen and been rebuilt. But have you ever seen that in person?
No.
It's pretty weird.
I'd like to.
It's crowded.
Instead, I saw a Christmas tree underwater with sharks around it.
Yeah, we
That
talked.
sounds kind of cool.
We talked about that trip. I don't. What are your feelings about the city of Philadelphia, Tim? And if you don't respond by saying it's one of the filthiest in the country, I'll know
Yeah.
you've never been there.
It's a city full of jerks.
See,
I because I don't care about it's like I think LA is probably one of the filthiest cities on earth. but-
yeah, they don't get the water to wash the stuff away.
yeah, and like people just
You know
don't-
what?
They're litter bugs.
You know what Cleveland
in
is?
the culture.
One of the most dangerous cities in the world.
That's
Yeah.
right.
But you know what? When our blood spills all over, there's something coming around to clean it up.
Not only that, it makes you try and be a little bit nicer to people because you never know who's going to
Yeah.
kill you.
Hey, sweep your step or we'll kill you.
I mean, this is all the way it should be, Tom. It's good.
It's fine.
Yeah.
I had a good time.
think you'd have a good time in a dirty place.
I did.
I mean,
And pretty much my entire hotel
got comped.
was free.
Even
So,
better.
it was good. So how or do you think that when they go and actually into the other universe,
Yeah.
like the infosphere and everything, why didn't the infosphere also show up in the other universe?
It did. They were inside it.
I thought they were just like in
Like
just
in
floating
nothingness?
around.
No, I thought
No,
they were in the
they
other
were
universe.
inside of the infosphere.
Oh, were they? Okay.
Yeah. And then it gets zapped back to 1999 via space-time transfer because there is a nexus point where Fry can return back to the moment that he was frozen after he discovers that Nibbler was the one who pushed him into
Right.
the cryo chamber.
But my question is,
I
why-
wonder if I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you
No,
off.
no, go
Just
ahead.
in the writer's room initially, if they were like, do we really have to explain this? And somebody was like, yes, it's going to be important. And here we are.
It's
Do you think from scanning everything in the entire universe, that's how he figured out there was the nexus point, the big brain?
Oh, wow.
Like, how did he figure out there was a nexus point? Because they're in a
I
whole
think that was
different
why. 'Cause
universe, though.
They've got the knowledge.
So it connected to the other universe.
I guess so. All he does is the big giant brain says, "I have shocking data relevant to this conversation," and they go, "We don't care, you stupid dope." And then that's when the big giant
We
brain,
don't have to listen to you. We're in another universe.
yeah. So then that's when the brain
you're
explains it. So obviously the big giant brain retains the knowledge that's already, inside of its big giant brain. But this is when we find out that Nibbler is the person who ordered the pizza for IC Wiener, or I.C. Wiener. And Mr. Panucci goes, "Talk a little louder. Sounds like you got some kind of tiny little head on you or something."
that was one of the lines that made me laugh out loud.
That was one of the best ones.
I want to start saying that to people that I can't hear on the phone.
You got a tiny little head or something.
That's not a bad idea. Like I've been thinking about.
I'm sorry, could you speak up? You sound like you have a tiny little head.
I mean, it's stuff like that I want to like float out into the vernacular and get it to be like, like stuff that people start to say. Like the other thing, I was thinking of this morning because every morning I drive my daughter down to daycare before school. And like every fourth time I have to make the left turn off of my street, there'll be somebody crossing, like, because there's a main street down at the end. And most people are pretty courteous about it. But like when you get a slow crosswalker, it just drives me fucking crazy. It's like when you're stuck behind somebody at an airport or a mall or whatever, and it's like they're ambling and or moseying, and they do not give a fuck, and they're not even courteous enough to pull to a side and let you pass. So like if you honk a horn at them, I find like horn honking in your car pretty distasteful unless there's no other resort. What I want to start doing is just like yelling in a really positive way, "Good hustle." Because it's sort of like a passive aggressive backhanded compliment or inverse compliment where like maybe if you say it enough, people just be like, "Hey, there's people waiting."
It's how you visually pat somebody on the butt, like with your mouth, with just like out there.
Way to go, good hustle.
Putt.
And then, then they might stop and just be, "What'd you say to me?" And then it's Cleveland, so I might get shot.
Right.
You don't know. That's why I don't say it.
See, when I find people in Cleveland like cross the street, there's like a moment when they go super slow because they're like,
"Yeah, fuck you.
Are you going to run me over?" And then they like lock eyes with you, and they're like, "You're damn right, you're not going to run me over." And then they take their time.
I feel like you have a look that could pull off that you might, though.
That's exactly what I do. My maneuver, because I'm a maniac, is that when they make that eye contact, I swerve around them and get as close as I can. and maybe next time they'll learn to go a little faster. It's how you survive in the big city, people.
I don't know. You got to be an urban explorer. If you're not the lead dog, the view never changes, man. I think that's a Dave Matthews song.
Yeah. Whenever I'm in the car, I look down at whatever my T-shirt is saying, and I'm like, "This is what I live today."
So this episode, and we're getting to this point now where it kind of resolves itself. Gave me what I want to have on my tombstone, which is
Doombringer?
No.
It's not bad. That's open if you want it.
He lived long and was a celebrated pooper.
Yeah. Our kind are celebrated poopers.
I mean,
So
that's something to be known for, right?
Yeah. If you poop dark matter, come on.
Poopers of great renown.
Honestly, it's the only thing that I brag about.
Is it just to make your dogs feel bad because they can't partake?
I'm like, guys, you're not believing what I'm leaving at home. The good stuff.
I literally just flush it down the toilet. What's a toilet?
So Fry shows up behind Nibbler as Nibbler's about to push the past Fry into the cryo chamber, and he grabs him and he starts choking Nibbler, which is kind of oddly aggressive for Fry.
Yeah.
And Nibbler's like, "Well, you're the fate of the galaxy. It depends on you. Like, it was foretold that you're the only one who can save us." And, Fry's really just upset because he wasn't asked. He loves the future, turns out.
It seems like, I thought we've established over and over that he's actually better suited for living in the future than he was in 1999. Like, it seems like a no-brainer that he'd be like, "Oh, yeah, my life was shitty."
Hey, is this before, and when they jump, is this before or after the one where he had, the terrible girlfriend? Has that already been established?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. That was oh shoot, because she got
Which
frozen
terrible
too.
girlfriend? Michelle?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was there another one?
There's the polyamorous one whose name I can't remember. That's later.
Okay.
And then Michelle is his 1999 girlfriend.
Yeah.
Whose name I remember because that's my name.
Oh, I didn't even put that together. She said it like 4 times. I never connected that. I was going to say just voiced by Sarah Silverman.
Yeah.
Pre-fame.
Well, I think Sarah Silverman is Michelle in 2 of the... I don't think she plays Michelle in every episode.
Really?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I have to check on that, but I feel like she doesn't do it every time.
I like that, he makes the choice to have things go back to the way they were, but he does have the presence of mind to say the Scooty Puff Juniors suck. So remember that. And
before that though, this is like a point that I don't even remember what comes of it, but Nibbler says, "Isn't there anything in the future that's worth saving?" And Fry says, "Well, there's Leela." And Nibbler says, "She must be the other."
Oh.
Yeah.
Where does
The
that come
other.
into play?
It's
I
going
think-
to come back, but I don't remember.
Do they ever talk about this
how.
prophecy again?
Tom seems to think so.
It may have been a reference to where they brought her to
During the
like
Delta wave brain
which
invasion?
was whatever the first
Maybe.
episode was called.
So was that War is the H word? No, that was the balls.
No, it's
The day the earth stood stupid.
Yes.
Yes, correct.
So this is we've gotten into these time paradoxes before. It's very mind bending.
But this Nibbler doesn't know who Leela is
'Cause he
because this
hasn't
is
met her
1,000
yet?
years ago Nibbler. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they were careful to say that too. That this is a past Nibbler who has not time traveled.
Yeah.
Yes.
Does Nibbler ever time travel?
No, his species lacks the
ability.
The
ability to
ability, yeah.
time travel.
Well, they travel through time, but linearly in one direction.
Yeah, so
Yes.
so Nibbler promises that he'll help Fry do whatever he can to woo Leela and make sure that she remains important to him.
So does this
So
change?
it could.
I guess we'll find out. In the
It could be
coming
one of those
episodes.
Back to Future things where when he goes into the future, it's a different timeline because he already went through the other one, and you go back in time and then come back.
And it changed because of the Scooty Puff.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So there's at least one difference. Isn't that how it works?
Hmm?
I don't know.
One difference can change everything.
That's that.
So yeah, this
Ashton
this
Kutcher.
time
Never
when the
ever touch anything.
That's that Ashton Kutcher
If you
movie.
ever go back in time, don't ever touch anything.
Dude, where's my car? I know. I got
No,
it.
that
It's
is
fine.
the thing that Grandpa Simpson told Homer Simpson was his advice on Homer's wedding night.
Don't touch anything.
If you ever find yourself going back in time, whatever you do, don't touch anything. 'Cause even the smallest change.
I didn't know that came from Abe Simpson.
It was. It's in one of the Treehouse of Horrors episode.
Oh, okay, so it's not.
I remember that one. It's really great because there was one where he kept on just messing it up, and then
Yeah.
he went crazy and just started stepping on everything. And when he got back, he was super rich. All the children were well behaved, and then they were like, pass me a donut," and they were. and
What's a donut?
Yeah, and then he freaked out and went, and then it started raining donuts.
See, Homer's so dumb because you would just invent donuts then.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah. He had everything. Everything was perfect. Patty and Selma were dead. They were rich.
Yeah.
They were going to the funeral. Well-behaved kids. There just were no donuts. That's why you were screaming at the TV like, "What are you doing, Homer?"
I don't.
I didn't really do that.
Okay, I hope not. So I guess we got to the resolution. Just Fry gets saved this time around. It's because they got the Scooty Puff Senior.
Yeah.
The Doombringer.
The Doombringer.
But that had the pelican on it too. That was the part I didn't get. So there was one on the Scooty Puff Junior.
But it was like
Yeah.
a different one.
was like a
like a
little-
little baby pelican, and on
Yeah.
the Scooty Puff Senior, it was like an eagle-looking,
Yeah.
broad chest.
I think isn't that like a Navy thing, like from a World War II, like the strong arm pelican? I think that is a reference to something.
I think they name boats after famous cockfights too. It's a whole. There's all
Probably.
this mythology
Full circle.
and superstition involved with it. So this is the same thing though that Nibbler did with Leela. Then, as he blanks the memory to like erase it.
Yeah, the Men in Black thing.
Did Leela say things tasted purple when he did that to her?
No, that was just
Fry.
Fry,
Everything
and
tastes purple for a second.
it was the other thing was like in Roswell That Ends Well. He's like, "Do you guys smell blue?"
Yeah.
There's that
He has synesthesis or whatever.
Synesthesia.
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Synesthesia.
The,
Anesthesia.
I am trying to remember. I just saw this and I can't remember where. I think it's the band Iron Chic has a song called "A Headache with Pictures," which was like from that same vintage of Fry quotes, where he's like, "I'm having one of those things, a headache with pictures." An idea, yeah. It's like, oh, I get that reference now. That's beautiful. So he just picks a flower, probably out of a pile of dog shit.
Well,
for
Nibbler
Leela.
Nibbler gives him the flower because Nibbler promised Fry that he would do whatever he could to help him woo Leela and keep her safe and all the blah 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 blah.
So wasn't that a weird kiss then? It was very like forward for it. It did not look platonic.
No, I think she kisses him because
Yeah.
Bender burns a hole in the picture that Leela took with Chaz that night
gusto.
with gusto. And she's holding it up and looking at the hole in the picture where Chaz's head was, and Fry walks in the door and like his head lines up in that hole, and she sees like herself
Right.
happy with Fry, and she's like, oh well, actually Fry's not that bad. He's kind of sweet. He gave me a flower, and she's really happy that he's there.
I
And
feel
then-
like that would have been a gag on Friends.
Yeah.
Just, something where Joey accidentally lights a picture on
not
fire.
sarcastic enough.
You don't think so?
No.
Like,
The one with the hole in the picture.
if you're talking about Joey, that could actually mean a couple of different things. Oh dear, and that's why that show's not on the air anymore. I thought that was a very especially because any sort of romantic interest between Leela and Fry has been so unrequited. It just seemed like it was a very romantic kiss seemingly out of nowhere. She's like, oh, hey, I'm back. Here's a flower. I just got home from a shitty date. And then she kind of makes out with him in front of everybody.
Well, if I know anything about women, is that they love one flower.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know, man. If someone gave me a flower, I would still be pretty excited.
What if somebody gave you a bag of flour?
A gift is a gift.
But there's a tiny hole at the bottom. It's been leaking out the entire time they brought it
You're
to you.
supposed to care for it like a baby. You're going to be a terrible mother. I can make biscuits out of this. What will you make in your sous vide with that romantic flower?
I got the cash. I picked cash.
Oh dear, we took many twists and turns tonight.
Yeah, I'm sorry if this how long do you guys shoot for?
We're actually right on
15
track.
minutes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I really kind of got our train back on the rails.
Yeah,
there.
no, you did.
That's your job. That's your job.
I am tough to wrangle.
I felt the need to do so. Well, it's like 20 minutes. It's, like 20 minutes before I need to go to bed. So I'm.
Yeah, me too.
Actually,
so.
Those dogs aren't going to eat that poop on their
Yeah,
own.
I gotta race those dogs to poop tomorrow.
Well, it's been,
Gotta be in running shape.
we've talked about it for well over a year before we were able to make it happen. But thank you so much for coming on, Tim.
Hey, no problem. Thanks for having me. I had a lot of fun.
You're an actively working comedian in Cleveland. You have a lot of other creative pursuits. Where can people find you on the internet? And what this will come out after the new year, so if you've got fresh dates, it's probably not going to make it. But
Yeah, don't worry about dates. Just look at Tim Cornett USA on social media stuff, and my website is timcorn.net.
that's great.
I did not know that.
Yeah,
That's brilliant.
that's
Did your cousin, the other TM,
Tim Cornett. TimCornett.com is he took it. No, the timcornett.com is just like a link that just says timcornett.com.
Oh no.
And to buy it would be like $10,000, which tells me
is
I am not the top Tim Cornett.
they've wildly overestimated.
I like to think some Tim Cornette's going, let's check to see if anybody wants this web. Nope.
Now you've got a price point for your Tommy
Yep.
Roulette.
There we go. Oh, I don't own Tommy Roulette. I own all of them.
That guy we saw at Hilarities the other night. What's his name again? Oh, his website's available. I'm going to get in the ground floor.
That would be a dirty trick.
Are you? I know in the past you've done a number of podcasts. One of the recent ones, which is probably like a year ago, when we still had just a shred of optimism that things could change, was the Dear Mr. President or the Hello Mr. President.
Yeah, the Hello, Mr. President, it's me, Tim.
Yeah.
I would call the White House every day and leave a message for the president. Just tell them what I think.
Yeah.
Which
It was
president?
President
bad
Trump.
one.
It was President Trump. It was good for a while. I was living with it was a lot. It was draining me. I still have them up. It's at callthepresident.com, which I do not want to give up the website. But yeah, it went pretty good. I guess, but like it was a lot. It was like 2 hours of writing every day. More like watching a lot of news and consuming a lot of news.
Destroy you.
Yeah, it's not good. I like because like in order for me to be like funny, I don't need to be tortured. Like because a lot of these guys were like, oh, my life is terrible, and they like go out and like produce brilliant comedy.
Yeah.
I'm not one of those guys. I'm like, because that's the thing that I'm always think about. So I'm like, my dog, my life is terrible, but only I'm into a microphone.
It's that makes me think like this is you should put this out there. I don't know if we have any listeners that are part of Anonymous, but
Did you just say? Do we have any listeners that are hippopotamuses? Because that's what it
Did
sounded
you say
like.
Hippo Anonymous for particularly revolutionary hippos.
I was stealth referencing Sparks again. Can we just put this out there? I want to make a proposition for you. If Anonymous is
Hip Hop Anonymous
willing and able to dox the president and get whatever phone he's tweeting from the toilet from, if they get that number, will you post it on your site?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, without question. Of course I will.
Yeah. That would be beautiful.
Yeah, why
Direct
wouldn't I?
line.
Why wouldn't I want that? I have nothing that the president can take, and I could beat him in a fist fight. So I don't. Yeah, like I'll punch that old man right in the face.
But are there any other active shows that you're doing besides that, or is this, that was the last one I remember?
Nothing active right now. The cat dumped the water on my MacBook, so that kind of put a crimp on it. There is a country music history podcast that I've been working on forever. It'll come out like in a long time, probably. But, yeah, I'm a huge country music fan, so like classic country music.
Yeah.
I feel like I should say that, like classic.
No, I'm interested to hear that.
Yeah, it's really fun. I have a few episodes in the bag. I'm just trying to get like a certain number. The first one's about Ernest Tubb, who's a crazy drunk hillbilly. The second one will be it's Merle Haggard's Ogie from Muskogee. Lines like the date that went to #1 or the date it was released.
Yeah.
Like it coincides with Nixon's silent majority speech like perfectly.
Really?
Yeah, like they happened at the same week. Like it was a silent majority speech, and then Okie from Muskogee came out like a couple weeks later, and then it just went from there because like that like you see now that like put Merle Haggard like that is what made him famous. Like that's what raised his price. That's what put him out in front of everybody. But he didn't necessarily agree. The song was written as a joke. But when you hand somebody a big bag of money, you start agreeing with stuff.
Yeah.
And he was super weird about Reagan. Like he was a prisoner, and he was like, you know, he was liberal and he grew up in the Dust Bowl and all that, but Reagan pardoned him. So he had like this weird loyalty to Reagan that no matter what, he's like, I'd follow that man until death.
Oh my God, that's. I can't wait.
Yeah,
let us know when it's coming out, and maybe we can either cross promote or have you back on.
Yeah, we'll do a Futurama one. There's a lot of that you could do that with the folk music of Bender.
Yeah, he
yeah,
does
we've had that.
a whole episode where he tries to be a folk singer.
Who was our guest on that episode?
Well, there was that one where he was with Beck, but there's a whole other
oh,
one.
There's another
It
one
was
coming?
Yeah, where he
it's
tries
much
to be
later,
like one of the newer seasons. That
I
came
learned
out.
something new about this show every week.
And it was Kelly Horchey that was on the
With the
last
Beck
time with the
episode?
Beck episode because she was mad that I got the one with Hanson, and I was mad that she got the one with Beck.
And here we are. This show is no longer a safe haven for Horchies, and you're a host, so I guess it works.
Hey,
I mean, there's no anti-Horchie policy here. Just I need to reiterate that sometimes. I wish we could have them both back on sometime. We just watch them yell at each other. It'd be fun. Okay, well, that being said, thank you again for coming on, Tim.
Hey, thanks for having me. This was a lot of fun.
We can be found on the internet at slurmcast.com. That has links to all of our episodes and our TeePublic shop. You can go buy sweet Futurama themed tees from there.
Yeah.
We'll put up your designs if you send them, in theory.
Or do it yourself.
Oh, yeah, you can just self-select, right?
Mm-hmm. And then let me know, and then I'll go select your T-shirt and put it in our store.
Yeah. We can be emailed at gmail.
At gmail.gmail.com.
Slurmcastpod@gmail.com. We're on Instagram and Twitter at Slurmcastpod. We're on Facebook. You can call, text, or send funny or filthy pictures to 216-438-1077. And rate and review us on iTunes, please. And I think that's it. Have a great week. This is probably the first episode of 2018, so hopefully we're not all dead.
Happy New Year.
Yeah. Bye.